Okay, so we got to talk about Avengers Doomsday, the sort of ongoing saga and conversation that we've been having about Dune 3, Doomsday. Will we have Doomsday? Will Dune move? Will Marvel move? What's the deal with all that? Can both movies succeed? That conversation is just, kind of ongoing right now. And John Campea chimed in recently, I think it was on his show yesterday, and said that he's hearing that Marvel Studios is considering moving Doomsday. Okay, and I believe what John said was he's heard they might move it earlier to the 11th. So it would come out December 11th, which, by the way, this is probably why we can't do a meetup and watch Doomsday, bro. Like, I don't know. I got like a weird feeling about it. Let's do Secret Wars. We're not going to do Doomsday. Okay, we're going to do Secret Wars. But point being, that's what John is reporting, okay? And the reason is to give IMAX to the movie. As it stands right now, and we've also discussed this, but let's just remind and frame this for people that maybe aren't aware. The contracts for the IMAX have all been locked up with Dune. So what that means is if you want to go see Doomsday in IMAX, give me 1 second here, sorry. Then you cannot do that in the United States. I believe there actually are some markets around the globe where there would technically be an IMAX showing of Doomsday. But as far as in most of the North American IMAXs, they have a contract. They are locked up with Dune Part 3. Okay, now, we've also had a lot of discussions about that. Some people think it's a big deal. Some people think it's not a big deal. Now, a lot of money comes from premium screens, but it's kind of hard to say like how much of that is because those premium screens cost so much money. There's a little bit of an illusion there, right? This is like the whole adding inflation and increasing ticket sales to mask the declining audience, which even Tom Rothman admitted Hollywood's been doing for 5 to 6 years now, in an interview we watched a couple of weeks ago, right? So it's like, man, like, I suppose I understand the calculus from Disney's perspective, and they're like, okay, everything's going good. We think this movie's going to be very, very successful. But, man, the IMAX screens, you know what I mean? And, like, I guess it would technically be good to move a week earlier, have IMAX showings and all that sort of stuff. But I got to tell you, man, I don't think this is going to happen. I mean, if John ends up being correct about this, then, kudos to him. Bob's your uncle. But, you guys can't even see what I'm looking at. So, here's like the reason that I kind of don't believe this. Okay, so here's the tweet that's kind of talking about John's report. But just a couple of weeks ago, the 23rd, man, 8 days ago, a week ago, The Wrap reported that Disney plans to push hard for Doomsday to play in premium formats like Dolby, D-Box, 4DX. They believe the film doesn't need IMAX to gross over $1 billion at the box office. And the truth is, this report from The Wrap was like extensive, and it actually was talking about Warner Brothers and Dune, and it was talking about Disney and Doomsday. And what the article in The Wrap said is like both studios feel as though they can come out at the same time. Both studios feel they can be successful coming out at the same time. And the perspective in Hollywood is something like they want to create a massive run during the holidays where there'll just be a ton of commerce at the theater, like a ton of people coming in to see these two big movies and other movies in the theater, right? So I don't know. I mean, I think while there's probably some voices that are out, like within Marvel suggesting like, oh man, no, let's get that IMAX. Let's go a little earlier, get some IMAX, and then have our original run. Anyways, I do think that if that happened, it would be perceived as a bit of weakness, right? Like it would be perceived as like them running away from Dune. And especially because of where Marvel is at, I don't think that's a good move. Because where Marvel is at is like they kind of had, like they were the biggest game in town, they sort of took over everything, and then there was a decline, and then there was a fall off. And what Doomsday has to do is prove and show to Marvel fans that like Marvel can return to form. It can pay off all this other stuff. It can carve or form a new path forward, right? And if that's what it is, and the concern And the sort of counter narrative to that is that, nah, it's over. They're washed. This is all just fan service and cameos, and like they're not confident. They don't have it like they used to. Like all that. Then if you do this, if you move the date, I think it strengthens that narrative. And in fact, and I don't know how you would ever calculate this, right? But it's possible that would actually become negative earned media and push just as many people to lose confidence in the movie overall as you think you would add to the film's gross by opening it a week earlier. I hope that makes sense. Again, that's like a hard thing to quantify, but I'm just saying that, like, look, frankly, like, the honest truth is I don't want them to move. I would not feel good if they moved. I would understand it. I'd be like, okay, yeah, no, the IMAX thing, that is kind of a fucker of a thing. And when they delayed the thing by 7 months, you know, it's like, okay, you got to kind of scramble. You got to roll with the punches. I totally understand that. But bro, like, I don't fucking think so, man. I think this movie's going to crush Dune, and I'm very excited for Dune. But dude, wait till the fucking trailer numbers come out for this first Doomsday trailer. Like, oh, come on. Spider-Man just broke 1 billion views. What do you think that Doomsday trailer is going to do? I'm telling you guys, I don't think they need to move at all. I think it's fine. I think if anything, Dune is the one that gets hurt, even with the IMAX. That's what I'm saying. So that's kind of how I feel about it. But this is just one more addition to the story. I don't know, man. I almost feel like John is just like stirring the pot a little bit, but John's not like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like he has a little more integrity than that. So I would assume he is actually hearing this from people. But in my mind, that just means that, like, there are a few voices there. It's like, you know, let's just say Kevin's the king or whatever, and he's got a council, and everybody, you know, has a voice on the council or whatever. Sure, maybe one voice, maybe 2 voices on the council think we need those IMAX screens, you know? But I don't know that that'll be the final decision. I don't know that that's the move. So anyway, guys, that's a little story, just a little story. I guess I want to know, number one, do you believe John? Do you think they're going to move it? Do you think they should move it? Do you think they're going to be fine? What do you guys make of this whole thing right here? What do you think? Sony did Marvel a favor moving Jumanji up to Christmas Day. Now December 11th, spot is wide open for Doomsday, and slide in there and to manager that IMAX screens for the week. Wow, I didn't actually consider that. So that's kind of interesting. So Jumanji moved. Okay, that's interesting, because that could actually be a little bit of collaboration there, because we know Rothman and Kevin Feige are very close, and you know, they're obviously really excited about their collaboration together. So maybe that was the move. Wow, I didn't actually consider that. Yeah. I agree. People don't care about IMAX as much. They will watch Doomsday any way they can. I mean, I feel so. I feel that way, yeah. Why not have a weekend to yourself, though? Even a second weekend would beat Dune's opening weekend numbers. Yeah, I think that's fair. And it's also possible that, like, I'm just stuck on it, man. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I cling to things, you know, when I shouldn't. So it's like, it's possible that I'm just, like, mentally stuck on, like, no, you must keep your date. You made that date. Be strong. Keep that date. Ah! You know, and it's possible I'm just wrong, and it's fine. And you open it up the week before or whatever. But, yeah. What if moving the date is an April Fool's joke? Oh, no! Technically, John talked about it yesterday, though, so we know it's not April Fool's. So you'd be mad if it's earlier? What's the issue? What do you mean, like my issue? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'll just get mad, brother. I'm fucking mad that you said it. I'm mad that you said I'd get mad. So I don't understand that either, but now I'm fucking mad. It is a little chaotic, and they've moved this movie so many times, but it can work. Yeah, that's another part of it. It's like, stop moving. Stop moving this shit. You know? They already fucked the timelines. I love you guys' comments sometimes, man. Y'all crack me up. The Avengers name itself puts butts in seats. There's no way they don't blow up the box office. I mean, I tend to agree. John said all the fixing Supergirl clips and cutting it is fake news. So who knows? Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, fair. Look, I've spoken to people about it, and also there are voices out there that I trust that are talking about it, publicly or openly, whatever. But that's totally fine if he doesn't believe it. VTJ says people keep saying X-Men and Doomsday are 10-005, but Rebecca Romaine is back as Mystique. Didn't Mystique die in Dark Phoenix on the revised 10-005 timeline post Days of Future Past? So I don't think she's dead post Days of Future Past. There are two parts of the end of that movie that people miss. And don't worry, because we're going to go over it all too more extensively. But remember that she pretends to be Wolverine. Actually. Okay? So she ends up somewhere on the timeline and pretends to be Wolverine. Logan ends up on the timeline in a timeline that's repaired on the X-Men, or with the X-Men and everything, but he does not remember what happened. He has a memory of his Days of Future Past timeline and all that, which of course then Charles would have access to. But yeah, Bush and Ryu Cat says, imagine at D23, Disney shows a short Marvel film showing Doom saying some heroes are figuring out his plan. I have to accelerate the plan. Oh, clock reset 2 weeks earlier. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. A lot of people still be like, yeah, right, you're running from Doom. But like, yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. Peggy's cheeks would look better on IMAX. Let me just think about that for a second. Let me really just sit with what you mean. Maybe, yeah. Surely we get confirmation of the date at CinemaCon. Yeah, and maybe that's why it's happening right now. Like, again, maybe John's right, and maybe they're making that decision right now, and we'll know about it at CinemaCon. We'll see. If they do move the 11th, they'll announce at CinemaCon. Yeah, probably. Hollywood is in a position where they should absolutely look to collaborate and not rival each other. Spacing out potential blockbusters is a smart move. Too smart for Hollywood. I don't believe it. That's funny. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you are right. Yeah. Endgame was moved up a week also. Oh yeah. Wow, wee wow. When did they do that? I don't really remember that. I'm excited for Doomsday and Secret Wars. I want Doom to have the same personality as Iron Man, but just evil with all the sarcastic talk and jokes. Yeah, there's something to that. We're about to talk about Iron Man and all that in a second here, so. I think Disney picked the current weekend thinking Dune would cave and move. Oh, shit! Since they have conceded this plan with Sony to get around things. Maybe. I don't know, man. Can't Be a Clip was blown out of proportion. All he said was it was discussed and he could see it happening, but he doubts it will. Yeah, okay, that's fair. I appreciate the clarification. That's kind of where I'm at. I could see it happening. I understand the logic. That Jumanji thing is pretty interesting. You know, whoever said the Jumanji thing, that's kind of interesting. But, yeah, I don't think they need to. I don't see why they, like, really feel as though they need to. So I think it sticks to its 18th date, and I think it's going to open pretty big, dude. I think it's going to open pretty big, which, by the way, it better, because one more little thing I'll add here, too, actually, is that this is the most expensive Marvel movie in the history of Marvel movies, and I have that somewhere on my profile, too. Let's see here. Yeah, so it is it's the most expensive Marvel movie ever made, which, like, come on, man, did we doubt that shit? Like, come on, man, like, obviously. Buffer Overrun with the 5 spot says, morning, Josh. Could Jean be from the X-Men universe we see in Doomsday and help cause an incursion? Yeah, so I did a big video about Jean yesterday. I didn't even check to see like how well the video's doing or whatever. But if you watch that video, I kind of break it down because we're starting to understand what it is. It seems like the TLDR is she is Femke Jean, basically, but pulled out of the timeline from an earlier time. That's kind of the way I'm understanding it. And also, too, other scoopers are beginning to report that Sadie Sink's Jean Grey is like the main character of the next saga, which I think makes total sense. I mean, Jean Grey is an incredible character, and like, dude, they tried to make so many of these female characters like happen like fetch, and it was just so terrible. But Jeannie is like she earned it. She's like she's the one, man. Like you know what I mean? Like she did that shit. So I think she's an incredible. She's like, if she's like the Iron Man of the next saga, and they built like a lot of shit around her in the way that they did with Tony, I think we're going to be eating so good. And I actually think that's a big part of it, because remember, like, when you think about the casting reports, the scripting reports, all of these things, remember, and it's December 2024 when Jeff Snyder says Sadie Sink. Okay? And if you understand the scooping game, that is at least a 6-month-old revelation. So that means in the middle of 2024, they're talking about their X-Men, dude. And not just talking about their X-Men. They're talking about how their X-Men plan is going to be set up in the next few movies and then pay off into the saga. Because right around that time, Kevin gets on stage at some Comic-Con. It might have been Brazil or in the East somewhere. And Kevin gets out there and says, you know, unlike Infinity War and Endgame, this ending is built with Secret Wars with a beginning in mind. He also says something to the effect of, like, the X-Men story that happens in the next several Marvel movies is going to set up the future for the X-Men post Secret Wars, and that's so important, right? So he, like, started saying all kinds of stuff like that, and it all just kind of leads to them planning this for like a long, long time. And so yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it all is. But that, I think, is also why Tom Rothman and Sony are so fucking pumped about it. You know what I mean? Because it begins in Spider-Man. You know, it's like it's going to begin in a Spider-Man movie. And that's crazy for Sony. They're probably pretty happy about that. So, yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Appreciate you. Okay, let's move on to the Iron Man of it all. Let's move on to the Iron Man, and then we're going to get on out of here, chat, okay?